All right, greetings once again, fellow traders. This is Michael Storm, also known as Robin Hood, and welcome to the Forex Market update for December 15th. Happy December to you all. I think Christmas is coming pretty quick, maybe 10 days away. And today we would like to chat with you about the US dollar index and what we did today in our live trade room. And we can learn from trades that we don't even take, or perhaps trades that we miss. Maybe some people miss some trades because whatever reason, they're busy working, they're not around, they don't have the time, or something like that. Or perhaps maybe you're missing a trade because you look at the news and you say, wow, news is volatile and I don't feel like trading it. I'm scared. I don't want to have my head handed to me. And so you sit that out. But if you did sit it out, regardless, maybe you'll be able to pick up some tips from today. So we are looking right now at the US dollar index. And before I begin, I just want to remind you of something. Okay, you might have a little trouble seeing this because this is a long time ago. Way back here, this is 1999. Okay, the year 1999, 2000, the dot-com era where everything crashed and burned. Please notice that the US dollar at one time, when our money supply was only $600 billion. That's it. Yeah, no, you absolutely heard that correctly. Way back when our money supply in America was only 600 billion with a B. And the world went into a free fall, right? Everything crashing, burning. We went from 121 on the dollar index and we landed way down here at 71. Let's call it 71. Okay, close enough. Now, why it fell that hard, why it melted to oblivion, don't rightly know. I wasn't really focused on Forex at that time. Okay, I came into the market at around 2006. So I just got to be honest with you, I don't remember. I don't remember why it fell that hard. Okay, but with a money supply of only 600 billion, you wouldn't think it would fall almost in half, but it did. Now, regardless of how you feel about things right now, okay, the charts don't lie. They show us a lot. Over here, this is quantitative easing. Quantitative easing. Number one. What is QE? Quantitative easing. What is that? It's monetary debasement. It's where a government, in league with its central bank, destroys a nation's currency, burns it to holy hellfire. They did away with one of the key money supply metrics at that time, right around the year 2006, 7, or 8. I can't remember exactly which year. It was a long time ago. And so they said, well, we're not going to count it anymore because we're about to do something so horrible, it'll knock your socks off. And we went from 600 billion down here and tripled the money supply. But yet the dollar went up. And you would think the dollar would burn down, but no, it actually went up. So we destroyed our money from 600 billion to like $1.8 billion. And then the chickens came home to roost. And the dollar crashed and burned. This over here is QE number 2. And the dollar's going up as they're debasing the currency. And then you have another crash. Amazing, I know. This is QE3 over here and QE4. And then everything really hit, right? And this is QE Infinity version 2.0 right here. And then the dollar burned. And right now, we are in some crazy QE to oblivion. And you may say, well, all the nations are doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's not just the United States. it's Canada. They're doubling their money supply, and other countries are doing the same thing. They're doubling and tripling and quadrupling their money supply. And we just found out that we can pull money out of thin air, Well, we've known it a long time. But even with all this QE, right, and currently we're at like $120 billion a month, along with, Biden's, trillions and trillions of dollars that he pulled out of thin air. What is the dollar doing up here? Okay, because the dollar's been roasted to hellfire. I mean, we've doubled, tripled, quadrupled, quintupled, sextupled, octupled. I mean, I don't even know how it goes. Deci is number 10. So we have decimated the US dollar tenfold, and we're still up here. Okay, well, you've just entered the twilight zone where nothing matters anymore, right? So you look at the long-term chart here, and this used to be very, very resistive. From 06 to 07 to 09, I mean, it was resistive, no doubt. And then all of a sudden here we went through. I'm looking at a monthly dollar chart. And we've just gone to the heavens. We did have a pretty hefty pullback over here. And yes, it broke, technically, broke the wicks and came down, right, down into these. So it doesn't, I mean, support and resistance is like a, it's not a hard and concrete number. It's a stretchy, elastic area, okay? So if we stretch down, way down, just below the monthly 200, and you hit all the candle bodies, right? Forget about the wicks. Then you come over here, and you do this, right? Get into the candle bodies. I'm trying to get close to this wick here, and yet still manage to touch, these candle bodies, okay? And you're into this. This is a support zone, in my humble opinion, all right? It's very long term, 15 years. I'd say that works. 15 years, monthly chart, stair-stepping, right? We have a higher low, another higher low, another higher. I mean, that's a low, but it's higher than the last one. So when you look at the market and you think about what they've done to our dollar, how they, dollar bills burning, hey, it's Christmas, everybody. Not chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Dollar bills roasting on an open fire, okay? Let's sing it. I mean, margin clerks, nipping at my toes. I mean, this is horrible, right? The dollar doesn't really deserve to be here, does it? So I personally am thinking short the dollar a lot. Now, I will admit here on this monthly chart, right there, when the stochastics were all, buried and crossed over and pointed up, and we saw that they, that they had a lot of room to run. Let me zoom in a little bit. We were very bullish on dollar here. We were buyers, and we were buyers here. Okay, we bought the dollar. We were really talking about it long and going up, substantially for months. We said, okay, well, this is going to go up for months, and maybe we'll make it up here. That's what we were focused on. That wick right there, that wick right there, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months ago and 12 months ago, we were focused on this and thinking dollars going up, up and away. We're going to go higher, and we all want to be long, primarily. Now, that's on a monthly chart, okay? So a lot can happen in a month. You go look at the weekly, you can sure see some amazing pullbacks, right? I mean, they're everywhere. So yeah, when we got up here, on the monthly, now please notice we've gone through the 50% fib, okay? If you run your fib from top to bottom, you've gone through the 50% GAN area. If you look weekly, we went through the grandmom, right? This is grandmama, the 100 MA. That's granddaddy right there, the 200 MA. And we did put up a hell of a fight, which you can see right here. 3 weeks in a row. It kept fighting and fighting and fighting and just didn't want to break it. And then Over here we started to, and over here we started to. Okay, so now we're off. We're off to the races. We've hit the top of our channel. We've hit an area that looks fairly good right here. You know, there's no actual fib to connect with here, but there is one here, which is the 50%. Maybe I should put that in so we can all see it. There you are. Ta-da! A wonderful gift of fibs, right? 50% fib right there. 618 is sky high, right? It's way up here. Are we going to make it there? I don't know. Don't really care that much, to be honest with you. But I'm looking at this, and I'm still thinking short. Why am I thinking short? Well, we've gone up for 7 months in a row, and stochastics are peaked out, and I know that eventually they're going to cross over, roll over, and point down. And, you know, it could take 12 bars. That would be a year. It could take 15 bars before these stochastics ever come down here again, if they even do, right? Because there's no guarantee that they will. But if they do, it's probably a year, year and a half before the stochastics ever make it here. Right? I hope you'll grant me that. And then we look weekly and we see very high. How long will it take for these stochastics to get down here? I don't know. And the daily chart is sky high. None of this is really helping you right now. Let's move on to what we looked at today in our live trade room. I'm going to drop into the sessions. Okay, the sessions indicator, so we can chat about it. Now, each one of these boxes right here is representative of New York session. All right, and nothing goes up or down in a straight line. There are a lot of pullbacks. There's a lot of really violent pullbacks, right? In general, me and my roomies, my trader friends, we were short in places like this. And when it crashes and burns a ton, we tend to get out of our dollar shorts. We do occasionally flip long, but lightly, because we're scared. That's why, because we're chicken. I'm a chicken. That's true. I'm a dollar long chicken. So I'm more focused on shorting it and occasionally get long, but when I do get long, it's like half size. All right, so yes, we were long over here somewhere. And then when it rocked up here, we were out of all of our longs. We got short again. Okay, we short in the highs. We cover in the lows. We short in the highs. We cover in, you know, novel concept. You probably have heard this concept before. I'm going to paint it backwards to you. It's called buy the dip, sell the rip. So if you want to buy the dip and hold on for a nice long time, you can sell these rips. But when you sell the rip, don't you have to go back selling the rip over here? I mean, you know, if you're going to sell short, the dollar, sell short the rip, don't you have to buy the dip? Well, yes, you do. I mean, you can't just sell it short and sit on it forever. You got to cover it at some point. So we sold short here, covered. Sold short, covered. Sell short, cover. We were long. Right in here, we were long. And here we were out. And here we sold short. This is yesterday. Now, this morning, we noticed that we were down a little bit, but not much. So we did have to cover some of our stuff. And we're still thinking about shorting the dollar. But our day is going by because we have FOMC. And we know if you've never traded FOMC, you might have a little idea how it works. We're anticipating some market maker madness, right? And we want to wait for that because the whole world is waiting for that madness. So, in my humble opinion, this is the madness right there. We were waiting for that. We were waiting to come up. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to lie, and I better be honest about it. We weren't waiting for 100%. No. We were waiting for the 886 fib. You might have heard me chat about that before. So today in my room, we were all hanging out, watching the paint dry, sad as can be, because, things just weren't moving, and nothing moved all day long. But doesn't mean we aren't supposed to watch it, right? We got to keep in the zone, right? We have to keep our fingers, if you will, on the pulse of the market, because that's what a good Forex doctor does. He judges the strength or weakness of his mental patients. And I don't know if you know that or not, but I run a mental institution called Sunny Acres Funny Farm. All right? That's me, Dr. Forex and Sunny Acres Funny Farm. And guess what? They're all crazy. I run a mental institution with 36 patients, and they're all flipping nuts. And I got to figure out which one needs to be bonked on the head, which one needs to be sedated, right? And I got to figure out which one has been asleep and in a coma and is about to wake up. Oh my God, nurse, the heartbeat. Oh wow, it just rocketed up from 35 beats a minute to 60 beats a minute. I think our patient is coming alive. Quick, get me some sedatives. I mean, what? I'm just trying to make it a little comical for you. But anyway, so here is where we were all waiting for the news to come out, right? The news came out. We anticipated, with the power of anticipation, we were anticipating that the market makers would shoot this up. Now, please notice that this, at the time, was the bottom. And this pre-news was our top. For a very slow day, right, to go up 20 pips, 22 pips, not a big thing, it's not a big deal. So right here, when the news came out and he started speaking, we shot it. We used our power of anticipation and started shorting the dollar. And as the news kept going, we were hitting it again and again and again. Now, if you, and we didn't do this on US dollar, okay, we're doing this on getting long the euro against the USD, longing the pound against the USD, longing Australia and New Zealand against the United States dollar. We shorted US dollar Canada, okay? We shorted US dollar SEK and US dollar MXN, US dollar NOK, and US dollar ZAR. Just go look. All right, go look at your charts. Wow, did they ever get smoked? And so some of our accounts made like 1,049 pips, and some of our accounts made like 3,000 pips. It just depends. Not every trader, you see, is in an agreement. Some traders are scared. Let's face it, they're nervous. They've never seen it before. They don't know how it's going to act. They don't know how it's going to respond, and maybe they don't have any powers of anticipation. They don't quite know what to do, right? And so they see the news come out and they see the dollar rocking up, and then, lo and behold, all the breakout traders are like, oh my God, it's a breakout. We got to get long. Let's get long that dollar. Let's do it. And they're all buying, right? They're buying. Somebody bought. If you just look here, somebody bought, right? And they bought in mass. But are the masses always right? Are the masses always correct? Is that the thing? If there's a stampede and the sheep are all running in one direction, you want to be a sheep? Come here, sheep. Time to get slaughtered. Come on to the slaughterhouse. Come on, you good sheep. We're gonna slit your throats, drain your blood. All the sheep are like, bah, let's go. And then they're all dead. So here the day goes by and they're roasted. Okay, they don't feel good about their lungs right now. See? So this happened just really not that long ago, a couple of hours ago. And we did this live in my room, a live room on screen for everybody to see and hear and watch. I was like, hit it, bam, bam, bam. We're shorting the dollar like crazy. Now, the news at 2 o'clock was one thing, right? And the news at 2:30 was a speech, and that took a little time. So you see how I'm zoning in right now, okay, honing in a little bit on the 5-minute chart. We hit the 100%, so we got squeezed a little bit. We were going short here, adding to our shorts, right? And then when it came back down, we didn't even take any off. I could have. Maybe I should have. I would have had a much better day, I'm sure, but I didn't do that. I was waiting for the news at 2:30 and for the market reversal that I believed, because you have to believe. I mean, you got to believe in something, right? And so I believed in this. Didn't know anything for sure, but yes, I believe. And had a plan in case I was wrong, and but everything worked out well. All right, so you look at the chart now and you can see it did work out well. So the powers of anticipation at a good quality location, right? Monthly is just way too high. Weekly, way too high. Daily, stupid up here, right? And you're thinking, wow, this is nuts. You go down into the 4-hour. Remember what happened 45 days ago. Remember? Right there. With that massive news. It dropped 112, or was it 117 pips in one day on the news? The news came out, it rocketed up, and then it dropped like a stone. Okay? So, stuff happens, right? Nothing moves in a straight line. So we are sitting there thinking about, oh, well, this is a great place to get a 4-hour sell bar. And an eventual down move. Okay, let me get over to half-hour chart again so I can get the sessions back up. Even on the hourly and even on the 30-minute and the 15-minute, we were expecting everything to fall, pull back. And now, with our wonderful gift of hindsight, here we are hours later. We can see, yeah, okay, we did get a quality 15-minute sell bar. And then we had follow through. There's another 15-minute sell. Here's the doji right here. Let me go ahead and highlight it so you can see it. There's the doji right there. Period of indecision, right? All the people that shorted up here are probably bailing out over here. And then there's another bar, and another bar, and the rest is history. So the market makers love news, and they love to take advantage of news, in my humble opinion. And regardless of what was said, okay, think about what was said. They mentioned 3 rate hikes, not just 2. I mean, my God, let's take it higher. Let's really sell it. It used to be 2 rate hikes. They said, no, we see 3 in 2022, and we see 3 more after that. Well, okay, where are you going to get this money from? I mean, exactly where? I just want you to think about it for a minute. Who's going to pay this massive bill? I don't know if you realize how big the bill is, but if you are to raise rates 6 times, how much money is that costing? Every time you raise, you're probably talking about $20 billion per month of interest. Do we just have that kind of money just sitting around? I mean, we've already roasted the dollar to hellfire. So where are we going to get this money to pay all this interest on all this debt? Because it's a lot of debt now, more debt than we've ever had before. You're going to get it from the rich, are you? Well, the rich hire accountants, okay? They hire, teams of lawyers and strategists, and they find a way to make sure that they don't have to pay. They take advantage of every loophole they can get their bloody hands on. And even if you could get all the rich to pay, pay their fair share, right? We're going to make the rich, we're going to sock it to them, we're going to make them pay their fair share, right? Okay, yeah. How long do you think that's going to keep the wheels spinning for, right? Really add it up. If all the rich paid their fair share, I think you get the wheels of the economy spinning for maybe a couple of days. Where do you get the rest of all this money? You going to get it from the middle class? Well, you've destroyed the middle class. They've been on a rampage. Middle class destruction coming soon to a theater near you. How long has it been going on? Well, it's been going on as long as Rocky has been around. Rocky, I remember once seeing a meme Rocky number 18, and it showed him as an 87-year-old man, sagging belly, and the final comeback. Rocky number 18, the final comeback, and he was 87 years old. Okay, how long have you been destroying the middle class for? The last, 10, 15, 20 years? Is there any middle class left? Please. So you probably are at this point, the middle class has shrunk to just about nothing. And the rich have gotten a hell of a lot richer, and the poor have gotten a lot poorer. And who's going to pay for this whole thing? If you're going to raise 6 times, who's going to pay? That's the big question. You're going to get the poor to pay? Because they don't pay. They don't pay any taxes, in case you don't know. The poor get refunds. Okay, if you're really poor, right? Poverty level, I think, in America is under $25,000 a year. So if you're working at Walmart and you're making $12.51 an hour in the Northeast, or if you're working at Walmart in Georgia, down south, and you're making $8 and something cents an hour, you are way underneath $25,000 a year. Your poverty level. Okay, so you ain't paying any taxes at all. You're getting a refund. So I don't know who's going to pay for this whole shindig. This is an expensive shindig. If you're going to raise 6 times, you're talking a hell of a lot of money, and you can't just keep pulling this money out of thin air. I mean, we used to laugh about it years ago, back in 2015. All right, that was 7 years ago now. And you can type it in on YouTube. It's called It's a Bank. Itsa. I-T-S-A. And go watch the little video on It's a Bank. And they were in debt, right? 15 trillion. What are we in debt right now? 32 trillion. We have doubled our debt in just 6 years, and it's getting worse every single day. So I don't know how you're going to conjure the money out of thin air to pay for all of these hikes. All right. So right after FOMC at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, New York time, came the 2:30 speech, and everything went to hell in a handbag, didn't it? Because what happens? He backs off of what he says, right? Okay, so I don't know. This video is a heck of a lot longer than I meant to go, and I feel bad about that because I did want to talk about another thing. I guess I'll just have to sell you on watching next week's video. I'm going to tell you next week how to get your hands on a pile of free silver and free gold. It will take a little tiny bit of work. We're talking about spare time, perhaps 5 hours, perhaps 10 hours in a whole week. It just depends how far you want to take it, but somewhere between 5 and 10 hours a week of spare free time, we're going to talk about how to get yourself piles and piles of free silver and free gold. And some of you that are over the age of 50 might be like, hey, I'm kind of interested in that. And others of you that are under the age of 40, you're probably like, what the hell do I want with silver and gold? It's just a piece of garbage, right? It's just been sitting here going nowhere. Why on God's earth would I want some, free silver and free gold? I mean, that's beat, right? I mean, it's just ugly. It's archaic. I want my Bitcoins and my crypto coins, blah, blah, blah. We'll talk about that, okay? Next week, we'll chat about the 12,000 offerings and all the trillions in the crypto market and what's coming. Tune in next Wednesday, all right? Same place. This probably won't get posted till this evening, so I don't know if this will hit the market on Wednesday or maybe on Thursday. This video should get published, but tune in next week. We'll talk about how to get free silver, free gold, something real, something tangible, something you can hold in your hand. And if the SHTF ever happens, you will thank your lucky stars that you've got a lot of ounces, okay? Because crypto, I'm sorry, we can't all get rich selling crypto to each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, forever and ever. It could be a giant tulip bubble scam. All right, I know you're probably offended if you're 18 to 25. You're like, you bastard! How can you even say this? Crypto's the future. Okay, 12,000 offerings. You can't have 12,000 winners. Somebody's going to rise to the top, and there's going to be a lot of dead bodies laying in the gutter. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, if you learned anything at all from this video, or if it benefited you in any way, all right, would you please do us a favor? Give us a thumbs up or a like or a subscribe or whatever the heck it is. If you dislike this video, hey, don't just hit the thumbs down once, hit it twice. Show me you really dislike it. Hit it 2 times. There you go. And if you like this a little bit and decide, wow, I want more, and I'd love to get my hands on 300, 400, 500 pips a day. I'd like to make 1,000 a day. I'd like to make 2,000 pips on a great day. Then consider joining us. We charge an earth-shattering 50 cents an hour. Ugh, excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna yawn. I'm about to fall asleep. 50 cents an hour. Oh my God, that's so much money. So I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. Is 50 cents an hour worth, hundreds and hundreds of pips a day? Potentially 20% gains in a month. I have one trader just showed me earlier today. I think he hit 20% in 1 month. Trading small, trading tiny little baby slice. I mean, we're talking micros here. Micro here, micro there, whatever. It's not much. It's not much size at all. And he pulled 20% in a month. So, I don't know. You be the judge. If it's worth it, give us a shot. Check us out at www.thefxmentor.com. And not only do you get all kinds of, cool trade calls, right? Forex signals, right? We actually teach you how to trade, how to not get your head handed to you. And that's what we want. We want you to survive, not die. We want you to survive and thrive, not die. So maybe it's worth it. Give us a shot for a month. You'll find out whether I'm full of it or, whether I might happen to know a little bit about the market and might know what I'm talking about. All right, so thumbs up, subscribe. Next week, silver and gold, all yours for free. Okay? You're going to have a great time on that one. All right, everybody trade safe and see you next week.